Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, Cynicalex, and today we finally unlocked the potential for Icarus. I'm going to take this bad boy up to level 70. I'm going to talk about his build, talk about some things that I think the character could maybe be used for moving forward, specifically and especially PvP right now. He's the Prime Eternal. And then, you know, who knows? Maybe he's going to be the mid-month tier 3, and that's why I wanted to work on his potential and at least put myself in a position where I could easily tier 3 him if that's the case. I've already racked up 10 universal books. Mephisto was good to me yesterday, dropping books like crazy, so I'm ready for that. But yeah, so right now I don't think Icarus is really like a must-have character. I mean, obviously picking him up for free from the Future Pass is a must-have because it's free and it's super duper easy. I also failed to mention in my original Icarus video, you actually get his bios twice. You get his bios at level 31 there, and you get them the first time at 15. So you actually get 20 bios instead of 10. I saw some messages, I saw some comments, you know, complaining, bemoaning the fact that they used to give us 20 bios and now they're only giving us 10 bios for the Future Pass characters. That's not the case. They're still giving 20 bios, which is great. Allows you to get the character to 1 star, almost 2 stars. It's kind of annoying. You're 10 bios short of 2 stars. It would be nice if they gave 30 bios in the future. That's something that the devs can sort of take note of. But yeah, you still have to use the rank up tickets regardless. Now, if you guys are wondering how he plays without Pierce, because I have seen some people saying that Icarus is really good. I've had some people saying Icarus is not so good. But I think that really is going to boil down to, first of all, it's difficult to compare him because he's not native tier 2. He's not tier 3. He's not transcended. So who are you going to compare him to? Yelena? Like, we haven't had a really good, like, we haven't had a new character who's not native tier 2 or native tier 3 since Moonstone, right? Icarus is the first character since Moonstone and Scorpion and those types of characters. And Moonstone's really the only one that comes close to being as good as Icarus. But of course, she's a PvE monster rather than a PvP monster. And you still have to sort of scratch your head a little bit to realize, like, oh man, Moonstone, she's transcended. So you have to think about how good Moonstone was before she was transcended. I think Moonstone untranscended is probably better than Icarus for PvE, just because I believe her all defense down goes higher than 50%, and that's really, when you're talking about untranscended characters, that's really gonna be the barometer if they can't do PvP. It's how high does their all defense down go? Oh, it actually only goes to minus 50. Interesting. So it's actually the same. Huh. So maybe you can pull off like a one-shot with Icarus, similar to Moonstone, because she could actually do a one-shot when she first came out, despite the fact that she didn't have her transcendence. So there we go. Eternal Rebirth. I'm doing this again, assuming that he's going to be getting a tier 3 in the future. Not necessarily in a week or so, but pretty much by the end of this year, it's kind of guaranteed, right? The Eternal movie's coming out. They're releasing the Eternals now. We've got the data mining showing Cersei. You know, it's kind of in the bag here. So this is not wasted resources for me. If you don't have a ton of resources, you probably don't want to start doing this, but I would definitely say if you can, you should tier 2 him and unlock his potential. I think at least going that far is good. Keep in mind that because he's not a native tier 2, it's actually not going to be that much of a pain in the butt to unlock his potential, so you don't really have a lot to worry about if you can't rush his potential. The minimum you can get every day is 12%, so at most it's going to take you like 8 or 9 days in order to get him maxed out potential wise. Even if you get, you know, super duper unlucky, you have a whatever 50% chance to get 12%, you have another like, or 60% chance, and then 35% chance to get 35% or something like that, and then you have a 5% chance to just get it all the way. Now I'm going to use a stage 5 advanced ticket. I pulled this from the story mode fragment farming. This is going to take him immediately to stage 5, which is really cool, for free, you know, and then I'm going to use the stage 6 ticket. Boom. So just like that, using 2 drops that I got from farming fragments. And that's why people are like, oh man, it takes so long to farm these fragments. It does. And some of the rewards are bad, sure. Like if you get this one or this one or this one, it's pretty bad. But if you get these ones, or if you get even these ones, it's really good. The advanced tickets. And then if you get this, it's 250 of each of these. So I really do think this is worth it. Even if you don't have enough time to play every mission, I mean, not every, like one of each fragment mission every day, I would say try to do like half of them. Try to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 the next day, because it really is worth it. Even if you can only open that box like 10 or 15 times a month, at least like 3 or 4 of those rewards are going to be absolute bangers, like what I just did. Like, think of how many type enhancement kits, think of how many runs of GBR, think of how much gold I just saved from literally 2 box openings that happened to get pretty lucky, right? Obviously, those are some of the best non-tier 3 materials you can get, but his type enhancement is maxed now, so that's pretty damn dope. So taking a look at his stats here, we've got almost capped ignore defense. 2% off is kind of a lot, actually. Everything else is looking okay, but again, 160 crit damage is actually not bad thanks to my cards. He has ignored defense on his very first. Oh wow, that's not usual, is it? Interesting. Let me just check really quickly some other characters. Crit rate, crowd control, attack, ignore defense. Interesting, very interesting. So ignore defense is not, I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it, but it's not that common of a stat for that first gear. Usually it's crit rate or crit damage. I don't know if ignore defense is better, but you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade this once. That's kind of a lot. Oh, no, stop. Okay, so yeah, that's the new max upgrade button you can press. And you can't stop it even if you have an Android phone and you press the back button. I guess maybe I could have closed the app, but anywho, I just wasted, oh man, I just wasted like 500 of each resource. Cool. Awesome. Anyways, I really hope Icarus gets his tier 3 now, because I just wasted material. I wanted to take it to 22 to get a little bit more ignore defense, and you know what, turns out is a waste of time anyways, because getting it to 25 only gave me 0.33, which is an absolute joke. So yeah, you can cue the clown music for me, because I just you know, I'm in it now. But what I want to do is I want to take him into some content here. I also want to give you guys a bit of insight for someone that doesn't have, let me just throw one of these on, for someone who doesn't have peers, because I think that's really going to, you know, it might skew the results. So I want to shout out to Beast Mode Gaming. A lot of you guys definitely know him. He's a huge MFF YouTuber, but he has a video. I don't think he has any pierce on his cards. He's been free to play since the boycott back in November, but he has some showcase content on this video. He's a bit more critical of Icarus. He doesn't think Icarus is very good, but I just wanted to give you guys the other end of the coin here, because I do have 4% pierce, although it's not a lot. It's obviously way more than 0% pierce, and we saw how huge 2% pierce was for Null. Maybe it's really huge for World Boss as well. I mean, it seems to have some, you know, high benefit for certain characters, you know, maybe more so than others, but yeah. Anywho, with that being said, go check out Beast Mode's video for a non-pierce perspective, and now we're going to jump into some content and see what he can do. All right, so this is taking a bit of practice, but I want to try him out with just a pretty straightforward team here. Wasp is providing the debuff support, a little bit of buffs for the leadership, and then of course the max HP, and basically all we're going to do is die. Awesome. All right, let's try this out. This is Wasp on the team against Sentry, Silver Surfer, like a very obvious PvP team here. We're gonna buff with the 3 and then go right into the 5 and then into the 4, and we're done. All you need to remember to do is start with the 5, because 5 is gonna let you interrupt Sentry's 5th skill and do that. So there you go, Sentry's dead. Pretty cool. And now the same thing goes for Silver Surfer. We're gonna do 3 into 2 and he's gone. So really long iframe on 2, really long iframe on 5 allows you to get away with stuff like this. There you go. Pretty crazy, right? Now this took a bit of practice, I have to admit. I'm showing you guys, this is more of the curated approach, okay? I'll queue up against someone else now and show you how it goes. I've practiced a little bit against this Lemon Sue guy. I had to sort of dodge some of my opponents because they were a little bit too beefy. Like 300k plus HP on Sentry is just a little bit too much for me to handle. Yeah, he's pretty impressive, but you have to open with 5 here. Sometimes I even cancel 4 to get the iframe ignore, because 5 is really that important. But yeah, it all starts with 5. You don't cancel 5 at all. You just want to let that play out. But yeah, the roar, you can see the roar on 5. Dang. So we lost there. I don't want to cut this. I want to show you guys. But the roar on 5 not only deals crazy damage, but it also has, I believe, incapacitation. I have to look it up. He has incapacitation on 2 or 3 of his skills. He also, by the way, guys, Icarus has burn. You guys made fun of me, and rightfully so. I mentioned a bunch of times, or I mentioned it, and I missed it a bunch of times, that he has burn on multiple skills. I just could not see it at the time. There's the burn on his 3rd skill, Salvation Blow. And okay, that's it. Oh no, he has burn on 5 as well. But yeah, Surging Anger, that incapacitation removes active buff. That is actually so good. Now you have to get a little bit lucky with the penetration because he only has a 50% chance to penetrate, but he actually does surprisingly well because that incapacitation removes active buff, which for Sentry it can mean removing his debuff immunity, or it can mean removing his 5th skill buff, which he actually relies on to get his own penetration off. So there's actually a ton of, yeah, okay. So this is basically what happens otherwise if you can't really stall long enough. So the annoying thing about Icarus right now, because he doesn't have revive like the other sort of staple PvP characters, is he cannot survive the initial burst of damage if you don't have the 5 ready. And that's why I sort of want to stall at the beginning with another character. Obviously, if I used my own Sentry, it would be better. But we're going to try here against this Jean Grey team. Let's see if we can queue up against Jean Grey. As long as we can get through this 250,000 HP Sentry. Yeah, everybody in PvP now has really tanky builds. So hopefully he doesn't pop 5 right away. He did, but we're out of the range of it, so that's good. Okay, he interrupted our 5, which is really bad. Gonna go ahead and interrupt him. Yeah, he's taking a little bit too much damage, which is kind of annoying. I guess, I don't know, maybe the opponents I'm queuing up against are all just like really blubbery whales. I gotta find someone who just has like an average amount of HP and attack on their cards. If I had more HP on my cards, if I was more of a PvP build, then that might not be the issue. But with only 22%, it's difficult to 260,000 HP with a Reforged. Jesus. Yeah, I can't compete with this. Okay. We'll see here. We'll see. We'll try to get the 5 off. There we go. We're gonna get interrupted. That's okay. 3, no, 2. He was doing it. He was doing it. He needs more. It seems like he needs more attack speed as well. I guess I'm not really that high on Icarus either. I was talking about how Beast Mode didn't really like him for PvE. I don't actually think he can make much of a difference for PvP. Again, if you have more HP on your cards, it may be a different story, but I've only gotten a couple of wins. It was actually more surprising when he was level 60, right? Because when a character is level 60, you basically have no expectations for them, especially in PvP. And he actually got some kills. Like he would never win, but he got a kill on a Sentry, like 1 kill on a Sentry, or like he got like a couple kills on a Silver Surfer, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" But now I'm trying him at level 70, and I'm giving him a very 10% HP from Wasp. You've got the all attack, all speed, all defense leadership. Like this is the most, or one of the most heavily Icarus-centric teams. I mean, I guess you could do this to get more offensively minded, but then he loses the all defense, he loses the attack speed, and then I have to switch at the beginning because he cannot do anything at the beginning, right? His iframe ignore skill is going to take 6.5 seconds to come off cooldown. He's dead to Sentry before that happens. Maybe you could kite Silver Surfer for 6 seconds, but not Sentry. This skill takes 9 seconds to come off cooldown. There's no way you're going to survive 10 seconds against a Sentry in Vibranium. They're just hitting way too hard, and their skills are just moving way too fast. But with this, it's kind of annoying. He has max attack speed. I said he needs more attack speed because he was going into his 5th skill animation, and then he got interrupted. But yeah, I think this may just be a case of myself and other players trying to force it. I think that's really what's going on. I'm trying to force it with Icarus. I want him to be better because he's so cool, because he's an Eternal, and because he's a brand new character. And we haven't had a brand new character since 2020, besides Null. So I do think, yeah, I would recommend just unlock his potential if you're going to get him to, like, if you have the resources to get him to tier 2 via tickets, the way that I did it and the way that Beast Mode did it. Unlock his potential and then just leave him at level 60. That would be my recommendation. It's not worth it to invest in him more. Maybe for Alliance Conquest if you're a big AC head, for that, and you have the HP for that, you have the builds for that. But for sort of your average, like I'm more of an average PvPer. I don't take PvP that seriously. I only have 20% HP on my cards. He's not going to make a difference. He's not going to be able to hang with the big boys. He's not going to be able to do anything. And he doesn't have any. I mean, he basically just has what other characters have. The only really unique thing about Icarus right now is that it's the first time we see a universal that has this this constant heal, right? We see a lot of universals that have a heal on a skill, even like as much as 50% heal on one skill. Doctor Doom has 50% heal, 50% of his max HP, but it's on one skill. Now, having a passive heal, the closest we have to a passive heal type character is Jean Grey, where she pops her third skill and it heals over time for a long time, right? And she's not even a universal, she's a blast type converted to a universal, right? So him having that passive, that heal, like Wolverine, like Deadpool, is huge. On top of the fact that he has super armor, all defense down, on top of the fact that he has 30% damage reduction. 30% damage reduction is very high. Very few characters have 30% damage reduction or more, especially if they're universal, right? And there's basically no character in the game that has the auto heal and 30% damage reduction. There's actually only one character that does, and it's Gladiator. Gladiator actually has a 5% heal. He has a bigger heal than Icarus, and he has a 40% damage reduction, and he has a 40% all defense. So technically, Gladiator has a better passive than Icarus. The only reason why I'm making more of an issue out of Icarus's passive is because Icarus is universal. So Icarus he'll never be type disadvantage in PvP, which is huge. It also matters for PvE, but it matters for PvP. He's never going to be type disadvantaged, right? Whereas Gladiator is only going to be type advantage against speed types. And there are, like, besides Daredevil and a couple Black Widows, there's no speed types in PvP. So he's always going to be type neutral, or he's going to be type disadvantage and taking more damage from universals, taking more damage from blast types, which means that his damage reduction actually ends up being less once you calculate everything else, because he's reducing 40% of the damage, but he's going to take whatever 20, 30, 60% more if it's a blast type at the end of it, and then he's going to deal less damage as well, which sort of works against him even more. So yeah, I would put Icarus in basically the Gladiator territory. Has really great passives, has some really great effects on the skills, has some really flashy, cool looking skills, looks really dope, has a really dope history in the comics, is supposed to be super strong, but because it's Marvel Future Fight, these characters basically need their tier 3s before we can take them seriously at all. So yeah, hold your resources until the fabled tier 3 comes out, whether it's in a week or whether it's in like 7 months with the movie. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Icarus, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.